Hey folks, this is Mike with Sailfish Solar. So I wanted to talk today about the efficiency of solar panels. This is one of the questions we get a lot. And if you were thinking about going solar, but you're waiting for the solar panels to get better, here's the truth. Physics sets a very hard limit on just how efficient solar panels can be. No matter the brand of panel, the type of panel, the future improvements that they're promising, or whatever the case may be, solar panels will never hit 100%. In fact, not even close to that, right? And this is because of something that's known as the Shockley-Queisser Limit. So think about it this way. Imagine sunlight as a buffet, right? Your solar panel sits down to the table, but it can only eat so much before it's full. The rest of the food essentially goes to waste, right? And so back in 1961, two physicists, William Shockley and Hans Queisser, they sat down and they calculated exactly how much a solar panel could eat before it gets full. The maximum is known as the maximum efficiency, and it is 33%, right? So the maximum mathematical laboratory condition efficiency of any solar panel is going to be 33%. You see, sunlight is made of photons, right? Not all photons are created equal. Some do not have enough energy to even move electrons. Some have more than enough energy to move the electrons, the negatively charged electrons that we need, but they'll also have leftover energy, which essentially turns into heat. So you add all these up, the photons that are strong, the photons that are weak, and the ability of the solar panel itself, and the laws of physics stop a silicone solar panel at about 1/3 efficiency. So again, not 100%, not 80%, not 50%, just 33% is the maximum theoretical efficiency of a solar panel. But here's the key. The very best panels on the market today are hitting somewhere from 22 to about 24% efficiency. That's not just a little progress away from 33%. That's already more than 2/3 of the way to absolute laboratory condition perfection. Those cutting edge models that reach 22, 24% efficiency, they're already performing astonishingly close to the physical ceiling of what's even possible under the laws of physics. In other words, these panels, they're not just good by industry standards, they're brushing up against the maximum theoretical efficiency that a single junction solar cell can even achieve. Right, so every day I hear somebody say something along the lines that they're just waiting for solar to become more efficient. I gotta be honest, it makes me chuckle. I don't mean any offense by that, but it just shows me that although they're trying, which is awesome, they truly don't really understand the technology of solar power to begin with. But that's okay. That's what we're here for, right? Think about it this way, right? Every new fraction of a percent that solar panel gains, it becomes harder, it becomes more expensive, and it delivers less kind of real world improvement. In other words, the difference between 22% panel and a 24% panel is barely even noticeable on your electric bill. And if you're waiting for 30 or 33% panels, that's like waiting, for a new phone to come out because it charges 1 second faster. It's simply not worth missing out on the benefits that you could be getting today waiting for this perfection. The saying is, don't let the perfect become the enemy of the good. And we're dealing with a very real, the theory of, diminishing margin of returns. We're dealing with a very real scenario with that, because the harder it gets, the closer you get to 33%, the harder and more expensive it gets. And so you're cutting off the nose to spite the face. You're letting the perfect be the enemy of the good, and you're ultimately missing out on savings that could be had today chasing this perfection, which may never even be reached other than perfect, laboratory conditions. So the Shockley-Queisser limit doesn't just explain why solar panels can't be perfect. It shows us why today's panels, the ones that are on the roofs right now today, are already performing almost nearly as well as the laws of physics will even allow. So if you're holding off on going solar just because you're waiting for some huge jump in efficiency, I got news for you. You're going to be waiting forever. All right, the technology is already here. It's already near the maximum, and the real returns for you should be starting sooner rather than later. All right, that's it. Thanks for stopping by.